year, new school, new high school. In fact, my baby is no longer a baby. She is a high school student. And kudos to the school for the information they have been sending to us as parents. You see, when you start something new, and I mean new, when you start something new, integration into the culture, understanding of the product is critical for success. Understanding of how the product operates, understanding how the culture works is critical to the success. And when I say success, I mean the love of the product. I mean getting referrals, to decrease any remorse of the decision that has been made. Onboarding new customers, members, clients, and indeed high school students is the critical step to long-term success. Good morning and welcome to JTinTheRaw, show 228, where I chew the thin on business. And after 32 years in business, I have just a few thins to chew. Good morning, Eugene. Good morning, Jose. Good morning, Carol. And good morning, Elise already. I hope everybody is doing well and having an awesome time. So today, we're going to talk a little bit more about onboarding. Now, I have banged on about this topic a number of times. And today, I'm going to give you three tips coming from the communication that I've received in the first 7 days. 7 days of Zoe's high school experience. We can learn from this in business. We can learn from what the school is doing, translate that into our business, and have long-term success with our customers, our clients, members, and as I said, our students. So, the first thing I want to identify for everybody watching today. These days, in the modern world that we live, onboarding is a must-have. It is non-negotiable. When you sell a product or a service to somebody, you must onboard them. They must have full comprehension of your product, how it works. With a lack of onboarding, questions are asked. With a lack of onboarding, buyer's remorse sets in days later. With a lack of onboarding, I don't understand the full value of what you are giving me, and therefore I question my decisions. Now, I think in fairness, in the 80s, the 90s, and even the noughties, we had the opportunity to avoid onboarding. But in the competitive landscape that we all operate in now, not to mention the consumer being concerned about where they are spending their money and how they are spending their money, onboarding for new customers, new clients, new members is now non-negotiable. So let me tell you about the experience that we've had in the last 7 days of Zoe's new high school. We have received daily emails from the school. And I want to give you 3 tips around what these emails have been about, or the theme of these emails that you can use in your business. Because I think these are bloody fantastic. All right, number 1 of these daily emails. Number 1, they are specific to us and what is happening at Zoe's school for her. So we don't receive emails at all that relate to what's happening with kids in year 9, 10, 11 or 12. We don't get those. Zoe plays touch footy. That's her sport at school. We don't get emails about any other sport other than touch footy. So what the school has done is segmented the market. They've done a fantastic job and said, This is the box that Zoe's in. These are the things that Zoe does. She's in the swimming carnival. She plays touch footy. She's doing dance. So that's the information that the parents need to know about. But they don't need to know about the rest. Now, what that leads to is a lack of feeling overwhelmed as a new parent. So if we're thinking about our business, when we can drill down and micro or niche market to segments within our own customer base, we can be very specific with the message. You don't therefore overwhelm your members with so much shit, so much stuff that you think is important but is not important to them. So for example, Zoe's not interested in drama at the moment. She is a drama queen, but not interested in doing drama as an activity at the school. So we don't feel overwhelmed by receiving all this drama information. We haven't got to make decisions around that because we're not receiving it. We opted in for the information that we wanted. So there is tip number 1. Make sure that in your onboarding process, you niche down and you segment your market and give the appropriate communication to that market. Tip number 2, you need to be super clear on what you want in that communication. Now, it's interesting, I was talking to a teacher last week and she said, oh, look, you can't over-communicate. I think you can over-communicate. I do think you can over-communicate. When you over-communicate with information that is not super clear. So when we read the email that we're receiving from the school, first off, it would be 200 words, maybe 150 words, but it's certainly not a diatribe. And this is the key, I think, for many business leaders, many marketers within our businesses, is to be able to be concise with the message that we want. I'm guilty of not being concise. Be concise with the message we want. So when I read that email, I know exactly what to do. When we get these emails from the school, we know exactly what action we then need to take. Go back and look at your emails, the correspondence that you're sending to, for that matter, any of your members, customers, or clients, and see if the end of that email, it is uber clear of what the next action must be. When we get these emails from the school, I do not need to think. To be honest, I don't have time to think. To be honest, I've not even got the headspace to be making decisions around what happens when I read that email. I want to read that email and I want to be told what I need to do next. So if you think about this, if you're a gym or a trainer and you're emailing your client, if you're a physiotherapist and you're emailing your client, if you're a real estate agent and you're emailing your client, they have another life. That's the thing that occupies their bandwidth. Your job is for them to read your correspondence, your email, and be uber clear so that when they read that, they go, oh, I know what to do. Bang, done. Tip number 2, be super clear with your call to action. Tip number 3, this is pure brilliance from the school, I think anyway. It drives you to their website. So rather than try to put too much information in the email, the call to action is generally driving to the website to a landing page which has far greater depth of information. Now, to me, that is gold, and that's gold for a couple of reasons. Number 1 is that it drives traffic to your website. And the people on the planet that love traffic to website is Google. So if you're in a competitive environment and you want to show up on a Google organic search, you need people visiting your website. You need people visiting your website. So this is pure gold from the school, that all the information sits on the website. Might be a hidden page somewhere on the website, but it drives traffic to their website. Google love that. Plus, it means they're putting new information up on their website as well. So Google love that. That oxygen to the website shows that it's a live and active website. It also means for the school, it is very easy to update that information. They haven't got to re-email parents a whole diatribe of information. They just update the web page. Brilliant. And finally, while you're on the website, do you think you look at other things that might also be happening at the school? Their community involvement, other activities that could be on? Absolutely. So it's brilliant. It's very clever. So those 3 tips again on those onboarding emails. Number 1 is those emails are specific to you, specific to the particular client based off their interests, their needs, their wants. Number 2, when you read the email, it is super clear in a concise modality on what you want them to do, so I don't have to think. And tip number 3, drive them to the website for more information. Love it. Now, here's another little addition that I thought is actually very clever as well. Perhaps this happens more organically behind the scenes, although in part of the onboarding process, they do allude to this being a huge advantage for you. And that is, at the school, there is a number of WhatsApp groups. So for Zoe's Touch Footy, there is a WhatsApp group for Touch Footy. There's a WhatsApp group for dance. There's a WhatsApp group for drama. There's a WhatsApp group for Year 7. There's a WhatsApp group for their houses. Now, I think that is a little bit over the top, by the way, for how many WhatsApp groups. But in Robbie Baxter's book called The Membership Economy, what she says is this, is that in order for our new clients, our new members, our new customers to feel part of the culture and don't look stupid, part of the onboarding process is to be able to link that new customer with a current customer who may be a super user. Someone who is an ambassador for the brand, someone who loves what happens. So when you link this new person to this person, they start to organically have conversations to make the onboarding process easier, smoother, and take the pressure off the organization. So I find the WhatsApp groups is a really intriguing model. What could we be doing with that in our business? How could that work to help bring a new member into your gym community? How do we bring that new physiotherapist client into our community? What does that look like? It's a challenge for many of us in different businesses, but it's very clever because it means that the day-to-day operational questions are not being sent to the school, they're being sent on the WhatsApp group, and the WhatsApp group is in fact solving those problems, as well as you're building relationships and you're building a community with these fellow parents. See, there's the key. You're building that community. Now, I should tell you that Robbie Baxter is doing a webinar next week across the world. It's part of the Rex Roundtable's webinar series out of the US. It is on next week. So if you're interested in jumping on, whether you're watching live or on replay, and you want a link to the Robbie Baxter webinar, put RKB in the comments below, RKB in the comments below, and I'll send you a link to be able to either watch that live or, in fact, get the recording. So, RKB in the comments below, I'll send you the link. What she will share is incredibly powerful around developing onboarding processes, developing long-term customers with these short-term strategies to onboard people. It's going to be a dead set cracker of a webinar. So it's on next week. RKB in the comments below. I'll send you the link. You can watch live or on replay. RKB. So that's it. Onboarding is critical to your new customers. If you want them to love your product, if you want them to refer people, if you want people to have a decreased degree of remorse for the decision that they've just made, onboarding your customers is critical, particularly those new ones. And the tips that I've received from the emails that we've received from Zoe's school this week, again, number one, they're specific to us. They have micro managed each segment within, and therefore only send the parents information that is relevant to them. There's a tip for you, number one. Number two, be super clear in those emails, i.e. what is the call to action you want at the end? Don't make me think. Number three is drive people to your website. That'll increase traffic for greater information, for more information, to fill out forms, to do whatever you need. Drive them to your website, and that will increase Google's love for your website. And finally, think about how you can integrate your new customers, your new clients, and your new members into your business, your culture, by using your current members. We've seen that, as I said, at the school through a WhatsApp group. Potentially, you can use the same thing. Hey, I hope you got some value out of today's show. If you did and you're watching live or on replay, hit the love heart right now because I really love to know if this message resonates with you and if you can take value out of this back into your own business or your own department. And if this is important to you, hit me with the love heart right now. I really appreciate that. Also, if you know anybody that could get value out of today's show, please hit the share button on wherever it is, whatever device you're watching, hit the share button or tag people in the comments below. When you tag them, that then shows up on their news feed as a notification and they can watch it. So if you think you know anybody that could help integrate new members, new customers, new clients into their business, please tag them in the comments below or hit the share button. I'd be super grateful. JTinTheRaw comes to you same time every single week, same place. Hope you got value out of today's show. Good morning, LBL. Great seeing you on board. Sean O'Shea, it was nice to see you, sir. I'm off today to do some face-to-face coaching. Who would have thought face-to-face in the world that we live in now? But yes, it's face-to-face coaching today. So I'm looking forward to working with a whole bunch of club managers from Anytime Fitness here in Sydney. We're going to be talking about lead generation. So it's going to be exciting. Hope they enjoy it. All right. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Remember, if you got value out of the show, tag people, share button. Sean O'Shea, Sean Lestrange is giving you a little bit of grief, sir. But that's okay. You're allowed to on my newsfeed. Thanks for tuning in to JTinTheRaw show 228. Catch ya on the flip side.